Police parade suspected kidnapper of Plateau Reverend Fathers as troops rescue 8 kidnapped victims in Zamfara. Vandals destroy Gwagwalda-Katampe transmission line. NLC rules out meeting with federal government ahead of a nationwide action as master bakers go on strike. On the foreign scene, cholera vaccine stocks run out as Africa battles outbreaks. Hello and welcome to the News Hour on Trust TV. I am Aisha Salihu. The Plateau State Police Command has paraded one of the suspected kidnappers of 2 Reverend Fathers of St. Vincent de Paul Parish, Fraye District of Pangshin Local Government area of the state. The kidnapped Reverend Fathers, Reverend Kenneth M. Kanwa and Jude Nwachuku, were kidnapped on February 1 and taken to an unknown location, throwing the local government into confusion. Trust TV's Adomusa has details of the story.
The suspect, Christopher Yero, was paraded alongside other suspects who were arrested for culpable homicide, kidnapping as well as robbery among others. The State Commissioner of Police, Hassan Steve, while parading the suspect, explained how the suspected kidnapper was arrested in Ogun State.
Upon the receipt of the report, the Commissioner of Police Plateau State directed the OC at the kidnapping unit just to make a local circulation to all police media platforms, which led to the arrest of one of the suspects, Christopher Yaro, aka Munaka, in faraway Ogun State, where he has escaped to. The suspect confessed to being part of the kidnap gang that kidnapped the 2 Reverend Fathers in Pangshin local government area. Investigation is ongoing to arrest the other 2 suspects, the other suspect at large. The suspect will soon be charged to court. That is the one that has been arrested at Ogun State will soon be charged to court.
The suspected kidnapper, while commenting on his arrest, explains his involvement in the kidnapping of the priest.
So she na tafiyan Catholic church ni kuma na tafiyan Kokin church ni da nazo sai.
There is a man called Aliyu who gives loans to people in the community. One day I went to his house and requested for a loan to take my son to the hospital. Surprisingly, he came to my house in the morning and said he had brought 5 Fulanis from Bauchi State and that 5 of us from the village will join them. From what he told me, I understood that I would make the list of those who would kidnap the Reverend Fathers. Later, I heard that people were looking for me in the area. That is why I fled to Ogun State, where I was arrested. While commenting on the general security of the state, the new police commissioner said, on assumption of office, he took time to painstakingly study the predominant security challenges in the state, adding that they will do everything possible to secure lives and properties in the state. Adomusa, Trust TV News, Jos.
More on security matters. Troops of the Joint Task Force Northwest Operation Hadarin Daji have neutralized an unspecified number of terrorists and rescued 8 kidnapped victims in Zamfara State. According to a statement by spokesperson for OPHD, Lieutenant Suleiman Omale, the victims were rescued unhurt during their continuous clearance operation at terrorist enclaves at Bayan Ruwa Access, which is presumed to be a crossing point for terrorists in the state. Lieutenant Omale reports that the superior fighting power of the troops during gun duel with the terrorists forced them to flee in disarray, abandoning their captors. He added that the troops also destroyed the kidnappers' enclaves and dominated the area with aggressive and confidence-building patrols within the general area. According to the statement, all rescued victims have been handed over to the appropriate authorities to reunite them with their respective families. Meanwhile, 2 kidnappers have repented and presented themselves before the leaders of hunters in Taraba State. The repented kidnappers, Gaya Alhaji Abdul and CEO Alhaji Amadu, both in their 20s, said in separate interviews that they decided on their own to stop kidnapping and repent. Gaya said he participated in 2 kidnappings and got 200,000 naira after the victims paid 5 million naira ransom each. Gaya stated that he joined the gang of kidnappers when he learned that he was on the wanted list of suspected kidnappers. According to him, at the time his name was put on the wanted list, he had not committed any crime, let alone kidnapping, noting that he decided to run from his father's house because he feared that once he was captured, he will be killed. CEO Alhaji Amadu, on his part, said he joined the kidnapping gang on his own against his parents' advice, adding that he participated in several kidnap operations before deciding to quit. Meanwhile, the leadership of the Hunters Association has encouraged bandits and kidnappers to repent and denounce crimes. Just days after Governor Rada provided an interview regarding the strides made in combating banditry in Kano State, a tragic incident unfolded in Wama Village, situated in the Kurufi local government area. During this appalling attack, a primary healthcare facility was razed to the ground, along with a mobile police outpost and their patrol vehicle. Additionally, more than 10 houses were obliterated, including food storage units. Adding to the gravity of the situation, over a dozen women and children fell victim to abduction by the bandits. Jamil Mabai, who visited Wurma in the early hours of Tuesday, sent in this report.
Close to the vibrant city of Katsina, the community of Wurma now lies in ruins. It once lively streets silenced by the brutality of banditry. Under the cover of darkness, flames engulf their homes and livelihoods, stripping away not just buildings, but also their sense of safety and stability. We couldn't remove our furniture. I ran away through the fence and hid in the forest. I watched as they set my house ablaze. I don't have anywhere to stay and I don't have money to rent a house. I don't have money to buy food for my family. The food is not even available to buy. They burnt all the items I bought for my daughter's wedding. Mikailu stands as a solitary figure, bearing the burden of unspeakable pain. His family, the cornerstone of his existence, torn from him by the merciless hands of the bandits amidst the chaos. My wife was about to cook dinner when they came and took my children without eating anything. They took 7 people in this room. The agony etched into his features reflects the profound sorrow shared by an entire shattered community. For 2 organizing hours, the outnumbered security personnel fought to protect their community. The wounds inflicted by this attack cut deep. Within days, the nearby village of Lambu was plunged into a similar nightmare, with 8 precious lives lost and nothing but smoldering remnants left behind as a haunting testament to their vulnerability. While the government proclaimed success in the battle against unseen foe, for the residents of Katsina, the struggle for safety persists. Jamil Mobai, Trust TV, Katsina.
Away from Katsina, the police in Benue State have paraded some suspects arrested for committing various offenses in the state. Also paraded are suspected killers of a National Youth Corps member in Makurdi, the state capital. Jimmy Azande has details of the story.
The State Police Commissioner, Emmanuel Adeshina, who also paraded some suspected kidnappers, warned that Benue State under his watch will go tough on criminals.
Suspects confessed to have been involved in 4 robbery operations along Naka Road and neighboring communities that led to loss of life and properties. Particularly, they confessed to have been part of the robbery and killing of a female youth corps member, one Irene Chioma Emmanuel, whom they killed while she was trying to protect her laptop from being stolen from her.
The suspects, including local gun manufacturers, were arrested following intelligence reports that led to their hideouts in different locations.
Suspects confessed to the crime and led the police detectives to a bush at Wama Village, where the victim was killed and buried in a shallow grave. The corpse has been exhumed and deposited at the hospital for autopsy and proper burial, while investigation is still ongoing to round up other suspects that are connected with this crime.
The police is asking the public to collaborate with officers through sharing of useful information that will help in fighting crime and criminality in the state.
And people are not ready to talk. People are not ready to say something, so it's a very big challenge. For a situation where everybody's coming out to say something, I think it is easier for all. So I think that is the major challenge. When information gets to us, we treat our informants with every form of secrecy. To be professional, it means that you have to protect your informant. So I think that is what we always do. We're always very professional, and we always keep them secret. Nobody gets to know who gives us information. It's very, very key.
The police said the suspects will be charged to court when investigation is completed. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
And now to the Federal Capital Territory. On Wednesday, February 28, the Transmission Company of Nigeria reported that vandals had caused significant damage to Tower 70 along its 330 kV Gwagwalda-Katampe transmission line. Ndidi Mba, the general manager, issued a statement confirming the incident, stating that it occurred at 11:32 p.m. on February 26. According to the statement, the Transmission Company of Nigeria hereby states that Tower 70 along its 330 kV Gwagwalda-Katampe transmission line has been vandalized, with the tower standing precariously on the ground. This event transpired on February 26, 2024 at approximately 11:32 p.m. Following the incident, the Gwagwalda-Katampe transmission line experienced a trip at the Gwagwalda transmission substation. Despite efforts by TCN operators to restore functionality through trial reclosure, the attempts were unsuccessful, necessitating a physical patrol of the line. Away from security matters, local tea vendors and residents of Kaduna metropolis are lamenting the scarcity of bread in the area due to the strike embarked upon by master bakers and caterers of Nigeria. According to the tea vendors, the situation is affecting their business as they no longer get supplies from bakeries. Trust TV's Bello Musa, who went round the metropolis, reports that people are finding it difficult to buy bread, even in retail shops.
It used to be a beehive of activity in this bakery, but it is now deserted due to the strike by master bakers and caterers in the state. According to the striking bakers, the action became necessary due to the persistent hike in the price of production materials occasioned by subsidy removal and forest deregulation.
Tsadar rayuwa ne gaskiya ta jawo wannan yajin aiki duba da yanayin yadda
are running at a loss because of the increase in the cost of materials. Before, we bought a bag of flour at 20,000 naira, but now it has surged to over 50,000 naira, while a bag of sugar is now close to 90,000 naira. Ibrahim Umar, a local tea vendor at Tudunwada in Kaduna, says the strike by bakery operators is taking a negative toll on his business. We only sold tea today because there was no supply of bread. I used to get a supply of over 250 loaves of bread. But right now, I don't have anything. Bread and tea has become one of the major on the foot among Nigerians. However, with bread now disappearing at many shops and vendor points in Kaduna metropolis, many are worried. The strike is affecting us because we don't have access to bread now. We eat bread more than any other food here. Operators say besides the rising cost of flour, yeast, oil, and other ingredients, the cost of running factories is on the increase every day. Recently, a liter of diesel was sold at the rate of 1,250 naira, but now it has skyrocketed to 1,650 naira. The situation is worsened by the fact that electricity supply is epileptic, because sometimes in an entire day we get electricity supply for only 30 minutes. The Association of Master Bakers and Caterers of Nigeria is embarked on the strike in order to draw government's attention to the need to immediately implement financial support palliatives for bakers as promised by the federal government in its post-COVID-19 support programs for small and medium enterprises. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
The leadership of the Nigeria Labour Congress says it will no longer honor any invitation from the federal government to attend any night meeting ahead of any of its declared nationwide mass actions, saying it was a strategy to hoodwink them. It explained that putting an end to such invitations was imperative due to the perception of many Nigerians that the organized labor would be discussing other things with the government officials other than the crux of the matter at hand. President of NLC, Joe Ajaero, who disclosed this while fielding questions from journalists during a press conference at the Labour House, Abuja, on Wednesday, maintained that the leadership of NLC would only attend meetings with the government officials when actions have not been declared. Ajaero, who was flanked by a renowned activist, Femi Abarishade, and other Labour leaders, also alleged that government officials had at different occasions tried to employ divide-and-rule tactics to subvert the NLC, including a counter-protest on Tuesday. The NLC president also raised an alarm that the headquarters of the Congress, as well as its state offices nationwide, have been militarized by the federal government, insisting that members of the Congress won't be cowed by any threats. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Labour Congress has alleged that the economic policies of the administration of President Bola Tinubu have suffocated the masses and impoverished Nigerians. The Labour body, which suspended its nationwide protest, said the country has witnessed increased poverty, unemployment, among other vices, since President Tinubu assumed office in 2023. The chairman, Nigeria Labour Congress Lagos State Chapter, Fumi Sesi, who addressed the press in Lagos, lamented that Nigerian workers have become poorer because of the economic policies of President Tinubu. The NLC chairperson lamented that despite the promises of the Tinubu's administration to tackle insecurity, the country has continued to witness massive killings, kidnappings, and others, while noting that the primary purpose of the government is the welfare and security of citizens. She called on the federal government to fix all the abandoned refineries in the country.
The administration has come up with extreme neoliberal economic policies and programs that suffocate the workers, the poor, and the generality of Nigerians. His policies are too sharp and too mean for the poor and ordinary masses. We would like to remind the federal government that the primary purpose of governance is the welfare and security of the citizens. We therefore demand the full implementation of the welfare provisions as contained in Chapter 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended by making that provision justiciable.
This is the News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at how age-old tradition continues to support numerous families, serving as a crucial means of livelihood. We'll bring you insight and details of this story and more after the break. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. If you're just joining us, this is the News Hour on Trust TV. Now let's take a look at a recap of some of our top stories. You heard that police parade suspected kidnapper of Plateau, Reverend Fathers, as troops rescue 8 kidnapped victims in Zamfara. Vandals destroy Gwagwalda Katampe transmission line. And now moving on to more stories. Mixed reactions have continued to trail the recent announcement by the Senate to probe the alleged 30 trillion naira ways and means spending by the administration of ex-President Muhammadu Buhari. Some residents of Bauchi, who also shared their thoughts on the matter, said they are not confident that Nigerian legislators will walk their talk. Trust TV's Adamu Imam has details.
The Senate, after its decision to probe the alleged 30 trillion naira ways and means loan, consequently constituted an ad hoc committee to interrogate the disbursement and usage of the loan. The resolution was a sequel to a report of the Joint Senate Committee on Banking, Insurance and Other Financial Institutions, Finance, National Planning and Agriculture and Appropriation, presented during the plenary. However, some residents of Bauchi have expressed reservation with the sincerity of the lawmakers to carry out the probe.
Oh, they will do it, but they will not take it seriously because through proving what has happened were also involved in the past. Take, for instance, I think in 2006, Ribado was the chairman of the EFCC. Well, he has implicated then some state governors, like himself, the president, when he was the governor of Lagos, about 5 of them, or Papio, and some of them they are involved. And he listed them, about 5 of them.
We stand in solidarity with them. However, regarding the investigation into the misappropriation of funds, it is just business as usual for the National Assembly. We hope they will take the necessary steps to address the situation appropriately. Nonetheless, if anyone is found guilty of misconduct or fails to represent our interest, we will have the opportunity to vote for change in the next election. On the issue of oil subsidy removal, they decry the negative impact of the policy, which they said further impoverish Nigerians via an astronomical rise in the standard of living.
Make the government take the palm price at 300 naira per liter. Today, if they will do this, because I saw within 24 hours, everything will change. Yes, it will change. Automatically it will change. But whatever cushion they did, whatever money they spend, and cushion its effect, it will go and drain because it only have corruption.
Government should promote farming and create more job opportunities because the rate of hunger is too much and the inflation of prices is high.
I believe the crux of the matter lies in the removal of the oil subsidy. If the subsidy were reinstated, it will likely to be more beneficial for us. Furthermore, even marketers argue that the situation is beyond their control. They claim they cannot bring down prices because of factors outside of their influence. They also appeal to Nigerian leaders at all levels to consider the masses when implementing policies to ensure that such policies are direct benefit to the masses. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
The Academic Staff Union of Universities, Yola Zone, has called for immediate action to address urgent issues impacting Nigerian universities. ASU highlighted the pressing need for the federal government to honor agreements outlined in the Memorandum of Action of 7th February 2019, including the Revitalization Fund, renegotiation of the 2009 agreement, and academic allowance and governance issues. The report.
Concerns were raised over threats to university autonomy, including government actions such as IPPIS enrollment and dissolution of governing councils. ASU emphasized the detrimental effects of underfunding on state universities and called for enhanced funding and salary reviews.
The union's rejection of the CC mark in line with the university's global best interest. Renegotiation. ASU members on same salary for over 15 years. Our members have been on the same salary for more than 15 years. The last time our salaries were reviewed was in 2009. Lecturers in Nigeria are the least paid in Africa because our impoverished pay package is far below the Africa standard or average. Talk less of the global average. Nigerian academics are the worst paid in the world. As a graduate assistant earns as low as $70 per month.
Delays in earned academic allowance payments and recent school fees hikes were condemned, with ASU advocating for disengagement from IPPIS and rejecting the IMF World Bank-driven student loan scheme.
The last tranche of revitalization funds was not paid to about 10 universities, despite meeting all requirements. In the same vein, a total sum of 170 billion was appropriated in the 2023 budget for the revitalization of universities in Nigeria, in line with the needs assessment report submitted.
The union concluded with a call for stakeholders to support ASU's efforts to revitalize the Nigerian university system.
Despite the widespread rhetoric surrounding the enhancement of rights, protection and justice for women, children and persons with disabilities, the reality paints a different picture. The absence of supportive structures undermines the purported goal of safeguarding the rights of vulnerable populations. Despite the ongoing narrative, there remains a glaring lack of interventions aimed at improving access to justice for these marginalized groups across the various states of the Federation. In this report, Neil Sampson engages with a civil society member and a person living with a disability to discuss the necessary steps that the government should take.
In 2022, Nigeria's female population reached approximately 109 million, with nearly 31 million children under the age of 5. Additionally, each year witnessed the birth of at least 7 million babies. As of 2020, there are reportedly over 27 million Nigerians living with some form of disability, highlighting their significant presence within the country's total population. Given these figures, the pressing question arises: are there adequate structures in place to bolster the capacity of justice and social support agencies across the states? This raises numerous other questions and demands from these groups, underscoring the urgent need for effective and inclusive policies to address their rights and needs.
Some of the key challenges that women, children and persons with disabilities in Nigeria face when they want to access the justice system, whether it's our police, whether it's our courts, whether it's the legal aid council, or whether it's women that have been sexually assaulted, or whether it's persons with disabilities that have challenges in terms of accessing justice. So the first thing is to draw their attention to some of the challenges they face, and then the second one is also to present to them some of the opportunities that are available for them to make access to justice more accessible.
We are calling for an immediate establishment of the Commission for Persons with Disabilities that will be working in complementary, that will be working in support with the Ministry for Women Affairs, to lessen the burden of the Ministry for Women Affairs and to also shed more light and spotlight issues of persons with disabilities.
Diverse reactions have emerged regarding the government's purported failure to establish structures aimed at advocating for social justice of marginalized individuals. However, government officials have countered these claims asserting a different perspective.
Before now, women were the vulnerable ones, as you can know. But now, the measures we are putting up, no more business as usual. Not from police, not from army, not from individuals, not from husbands, not from stepfathers, as you know, so many things that are going on. So we are putting up a measure that we are bringing in integrity brigade, of which all the commissioners are part of it, all the traditional rulers are part of it. These are some of the ways we want Niger to save Nigeria.
Anytime we have such problems, we first of all will write to the PG and will write to the Igwe of that town. And them, knowing the type of governor we have in Anambra State, will definitely support us. We've never been disappointed.
Women, children, and persons living with disabilities express hope that immediate measures will be taken to ensure social justice for their communities. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The governor of Kano State, Babangida, says his administration will continue to prioritize vocational education in a bid to encourage self-reliance and wealth creation. He stated this during the graduation ceremony of 832 artisans of Muna Vocational Enterprise Institute in Maiduguri. He announced automatic employment for 64 graduates who scored over 90% and cash, along with starter packs for the graduates. He explained that the establishment of vocational and technical schools across some local governments is to arrest youth unemployment, especially for those affected by insurgency, in order to reduce the number of out-of-school children, empower women, and provide livelihood means for the people. He revealed that plans are underway to rehabilitate vocational training centers in Dekwa, Kaga, Ngala, Gajeram, and Mungunu.
In order to equip them with skills for sustainable livelihoods, the government of Kano State has made significant investments in the TVET sector, establishing an operating similar institute in Wafa, Liu, Shani, and Wagumeli. These institutes offer a wide range of trades. Furthermore, rehabilitated and reopened vocational schools in Bama and Kondola, alongside establishing second chance skills entrepreneurship schools in Maiduguri and Bama. Plans are underway to revive vocational centers in Tukap and Shani, Kajam, Monguno, and establishment of one second chance school in Biu.
His Excellency to Tibet, I wish to assure the good people of Borno State and everyone here that in future the combined output of all our centers will be no fewer than 4,000 artisans annually.
Your Excellency's establishment of similar institutes across various local government areas further underscores your legacy as a governor dedicated to elevating the citizens of Borno State. We pledge to honor your investments in human capital development through our hard work and dedication.
The Federal Capital Territory Administration took a significant step on Tuesday by inaugurating a private sector mass transit initiative aimed at enhancing secure and efficient transportation within Abuja. The inauguration marked the introduction of 14 high-capacity, fully air-conditioned buses, signaling the commencement of a transportation system aimed at combating the menace of robbery associated with the One Chance Syndicate in Abuja. During the inauguration ceremony, the Mandate Secretary of FCTA Secretariat of Transportation, Ak Ubokutom Nya, highlighted the vision of FCT Minister Nyesom Wike to revolutionize Abuja's transportation system. Nya further disclosed that additional private sector investors are anticipated to collaborate in establishing alternative transportation solutions that are dependable and affordable for residents. This initiative reflects the commitment of the FCTA to prioritize the safety and convenience of commuters while fostering partnerships with the private sector to improve transportation services in Abuja.
I stand before you to perform the flag off of the
TFA 360 high-capacity bus operations in the Federal Capital Territory. I am particularly delighted to share in the joy of TFA 360 for realizing her dream of complementing the Federal Capital Territory Administration's efforts in providing reliable, affordable, safe, and secure means of mass transit bus services in the territory.
In a strategic move aimed at fostering economic growth and ensuring transparency, Governor Umar Namadi of Jigawa State has inaugurated two pivotal entities, the Committee on Ease of Doing Business and the State Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission to boost economic growth and curb leakages in government.
The Committee on Ease of Doing Business, led by the State Deputy Governor Aminu Usman, has been tasked with streamlining bureaucratic processes to attract investments and promote a business-friendly environment. Governor Namadi expressed confidence in the committee's ability to enhance the state's economic landscape. Simultaneously, the State Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission was inaugurated, with Salisu Abdu assuming the role of chairman. The commission holds the responsibility of addressing public grievances and combating corruption within the state. Governor Namadi emphasized the significance of maintaining integrity and accountability in public service.
So people should understand that this commission will only take care of issues that involve breaches in the conduct of officers. To the officers, I think you have a very serious challenge. On our part, as Executive Council of Jigawa State, Allah knows that we have done our best. Our best in the sense that we have scrutinized all your papers and we have appointed you based on merit.
During the swearing-in ceremony, Chairman Salisu and his commission members pledged their commitment to upholding the principles of transparency, fairness, and ethical conduct. They vowed to diligently execute their duties, ensuring that the public concerns are addressed promptly and that corruption practices are eradicated.
Let me assure His Excellency and all the council members, and indeed the people of Jigawa State, that this commission will act transparently. The commission will act with integrity. It will also be accountable. Indeed, we will try to imbibe the principle of fairness, fastness, and sometimes flexibility, of course.
Governor Namadi commended the newly inaugurated committees for their dedication to public service, emphasizing that these initiatives align with the state's vision for progress and good governance. As Jigawa State looks ahead, these committees are poised to play a pivotal role in fostering an environment conducive to business growth and eradicating corruption, thereby contributing to the overall development of the state.
Amidst widespread public concern regarding inadequate remuneration for formal sector workers, many Nigerians find themselves struggling to make ends meet on wages significantly below the minimum wage in a pursuit of dignified livelihood. 54-year-old Adamu Aliyu defies age barriers by accepting a job as a laborer in a truck garage, determined to provide sustenance for himself and his family. Ibrahim Ismail has his story.
Despite the sweltering heat in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, 54-year-old Adamu perseveres through hard labor to earn money for himself and his family. Despite his age, Adamu only receives 500 naira for his contribution to a group effort in loading a truck with gravel. Nevertheless, he persists in managing these meager resources to ensure survival. This job has been a lifesaver for me. I managed to finance my wedding with the earnings and have been able to provide for my child. Despite the physical strength, I don't feel the pain as much. Once I take a shower after work, I feel rejuvenated. Adamu, who is deeply troubled by the unemployment crisis in the country, firmly believes that young Nigerians have the potential to become self-employed by exploring all available job opportunities. There were days when I was idle due to the lack of job opportunities. But now, when the work is available, I load 3 or 2 trucks daily. I advise everyone to be dedicated to their work. I don't rely solely on this job. I used to sell vegetables before returning to this job. The management of the truck garage situated along the Abuja Kefi Road has stated that the facility provides employment for approximately 300 Nigerians in various capacities. We hustle every day to ensure there is food on the table. Each morning, we manage to provide for our families by the grace of God. However, we lack excavators, loaders, and additional trucks essential for our work. We call on the government to support us by providing these necessary machines. 54-year-old Adamu Abubakar remains optimistic that his journey will serve as an inspiration to both the younger generation and middle-aged Nigerians, encouraging them to strive for self-improvement and work diligently to enhance their livelihoods. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Abuja.
In our fast-evolving world, many traditional practices are getting overshadowed, replaced, or extinct. But amidst the hustle and bustle of progress, one ancient craft stands strong: palm leaf touching. In Nigeria, particularly in the Okegun community of Odofin, situated in the Ibeju-Lekki area of Lagos State, this age-old tradition continues to support numerous families, serving as a crucial means of livelihood. Victoria Tokolo shed lights into this enduring tradition, conversing with locals who depend on palm touching to make ends meet for themselves and their families.
Thatching, an effective roofing method utilizing palm branches, has endured through generations. Its simple yet effective technique involves laying vegetation to redirect water away from roof's interior. Surprisingly, in today's modern era, people still rely on the versatility of palm branches for their livelihood, notably in local establishments and bars. In Nigeria, particularly in Ibeju-Lekki area of Lagos State, individuals practice the craft of palm thatching to support themselves and their families financially, highlighting the enduring relevance of these traditional skills.
We get this thing from palm tree for inside bush. So we sold one 300 naira.
Make up with taxes and when we have no business. So this is all the job that we have. We are doing to meet up the life, everything. And people came to buy it, some of them. Sometimes we have customers, some of the time we have no customers. And we sold a dozen, 2,000 naira.
We dey use am to do this business. We use am, we dey do am for this 30s. We dey sell am. We go cut am for this. So they do am to sell am. People dey come buy am 300 naira for per one. They sell am.
Palm tree thatching has become a common sight in the bars of Ibeju-Lekki area of Lagos State. Beyond its role as a traditional roofing material, it serves as a vital source of employment and income, especially given the current economic conditions in Nigeria. In a time where job opportunities are scarce, the use of palm tree thatch underscores the resilience and adaptability of local communities, providing individuals with the means to support themselves amidst economic challenges.
Let's join Chiamaka and Nendu for some business news.
This is the business news segment. My name is Chiamaka Nendu. We begin with news coming from the National Assembly, where the Public Accounts Committee of the House of Representatives has summoned the Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Aliyu Kadoso to appear before it on or before Tuesday, the 5th of March, or face arrest. The chairman of the committee, Bamidele Salam, issued the summon at the resumed investigative hearing of the Committee on Revenue Leakages. And Salam expressed reservations over the governor's approach to the reform agenda of President Bola Tinubu. The CBN governor has sent Owulu Peter, an assistant director, to represent him at the hearing, drawing the ire of the lawmakers. The committee said it was concerned over the CBN governor's attitude to the invitation of the parliament on several occasions. The Central Bank of Committee emphasized the importance of the CBN's accountability to the legislative body and the Nigerian people. And still within the National Assembly, where the National Assembly has proposed 1 trillion naira for Apex Bank. For the Apex Bank, the National Assembly had proposed an increase in the capital base of the Central Bank of Nigeria's capital to a whopping 1 trillion naira. And this proposal was part of a broader legislative effort encapsulated in the bill that recently advanced to its second reading in the Senate, titled Bill for an Act to Amend the Central Bank of Nigeria's Act 2007 to strengthen the bank and for other related matters thereto 2024. And the bill is spearheaded by Senator Adetokunbo Abiru, representing APC Lagos East, with support from 41 other senators, and seeks to amend various provisions of the existing CBN Act of 2007. And key among the proposed changes is the dramatic increase in the CBN's authorized capital from the current 1 billion naira, a figure that legislators argue has been significantly diluted over time due to the naira's devaluation. And this financial bolstering is seen as a crucial step in ensuring that the CBN remains a formidable pillar in Nigeria's economic landscape. Senator Abiru, in his lead debate, underscored the bill's potential to significantly empower the CBN in fulfilling its core mandate, marking a pivotal step towards enhancing Nigeria's financial system integrity and stability. And now to other news. The average fare that commuters paid for an intercity bus ride in Nigeria for the month of January 2024 was 7,577 3 kobo per trip, showing a year-on-year increase of 89.50% from 3,998 in January of 2023. On a month-on-month basis, there was a 2.36% rise from 7,403 naira in December 2023, and this is contained in the Transport Fare Watch report for January of 2024, published by the National Bureau of Statistics. And in the NBS report detailing intercity bus travel costs per passenger for January 2024, Anambra State was noted for having a peak fare of 10,500 naira. And following closely is Akwa Ibom's fare, which was set at 10,000 naira, with Abia, Bayelsa, Cross River State and Gombe State still charging a fare of 8,700 naira. And towards the lower fare range, the report found Kwara State to offer the most cost-effective fare at 5,900 naira for intercity bus travel per individual. And furthermore, Taraba State and Ebonyi State were highlighted for their relatively affordable fares of 6,200 naira and 6,500 naira respectively in the month of January 2024. And now let us take a look at how the markets fared during today's trading session, where we did see the market end the day in the bearish trend, with the all-share index down by 2.69% at 101,995.2. The market capitalization hit 54.3 trillion naira, with a volume of trade hitting 396.228 million. And the value of trade hit 5.826 billion naira, with 10,549 deals exchanging hands on the floor of the exchange. And to the gainers chart, where we did see PZ up by 10.00% and Julie also up by 9.93%, while Mansard was up as well by 1.53%. And on the flip side now, WAPCO was down by 10.00%, with Nestle or Nigeria Breweries, I beg your pardon, down as well by 10.00%, while Owando is also on the losers chart down by 10.00%. And now to the top trades and market movers, with Transcorp Nigeria emerging as the topmost trade with 52.6 million shares, while the United Bank for Africa also emerged as a top trade with 30.6 million shares, and Access Holdings emerged with 35.3 million shares. And right about now, let's see how other markets across Africa and the global markets performed during today's trading session. And in the forex market, the naira appreciated on Wednesday at the parallel forex market, where forex is sold unofficially, aligning with heightened efforts to address the persistent depreciation of the naira at the Central Bank of Nigeria ended its first Monetary Policy Committee meeting under the CBN Governor Yemi Cardoso. Here are the figures coming from the forex market. And finally, in the commodities market, the crude oil market have continued the same pattern on Wednesday that we have seen for several weeks now, where we did see Brent down by 0.06%, going for $83.6 a barrel. And also we saw the same play out with the price of oil, with the OPEC basket at $78.676 a barrel, down by 0.14 points. And that's it for the business news. My name is Chiamaka Enendu. Back to the news.
Chiamaka Enendu there with business news. Now away from Nigeria, Africa is grappling with a healthcare challenge that will exacerbate existing attempts to contain cholera outbreaks on the continent. The vaccine shortage comes as Southern Africa battles a protracted cholera outbreak, which has killed 700 people in Zambia alone. Medical charity Doctors Without Borders said that the shortage has affected its team trying to respond to outbreaks in more than 16 countries. Public health experts have urged manufacturers to speed up the production of the Oru vaccine. We'll now join Emmanuel Fashemi for some sports news.
Former Super Eagles goalkeeper Maduka Okoye is eyeing a return to the national team after missing out in action at the just concluded Africa Cup of Nations in Côte d'Ivoire. Okoye had a poor campaign last season while playing for Watford in the English Championship, as lingering injuries limited his playing time for the Hornets. Last summer, the 24-year-old secured a permanent move to Serie A side Udinese in a bid to revive his career. The shortstopper, who currently starts on regular basis at Udinese, hopes to get a shot at international football again. I am very well now, every 100%, Okoye told the club's official website. Okoye further said, the national team is an important team for me and I want to return as soon as possible. It was bad watching the Africa Cup of Nations from home, but this is football. Okoye has made 16 appearances for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Great Britain's Andy Murray hopes to compete at another Olympic Games before he retires. The 36-year-old suggested on Monday he may only have a few months left in his playing career. However, Murray, who won gold in the men's singles at London 2012 and Rio 2016, stated he wants another shot at glory in the Olympics. The three-time Grand Slam champion ranks his gold medal from 2012 when he defeated Roger Federer in the final as the top achievement in his career. Murray expressed doubts about his future in the sport as as far back as 2019, but resurrected his career after.
You're up to speed with the latest emerging and re-emerging stories in Nigeria and beyond. And with that, we've come to the end of the news hour on Trust TV. But remember, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. I'm Aisha Salihu. Thank you for watching.